Okay, you boys and girls, welcome back yet again to
Hello.
podcast. 'Tis the season. Are you feeling jolly?
No.
All right. You got the
I
trio?
mean, no.
No, me
I
neither.
need to. We just, I don't, not to jump into it already, but I got back from tour 2 days before Thanksgiving. And so we did something we never do, which is we told everyone we are staying home.
Ooh.
We are not doing anything.
Stiff arm the family.
We are, no, it wasn't
just
in
kidding.
a rude
I'm just
way.
kidding.
But yeah, we stayed home. I finally got
Sounds nice.
the newer Xbox, and Kate and I played Starfield all day, switched off, and
It's very cool.
it was amazing.
Very cool. So tree's not up yet.
No tree yet.
All right. No festivities. Well, it's coming.
It will
We don't have one up. I was like, it'd be funny if we just went outside and cut one of our boxwood bushes. And
Our
brought
house
it
is like
in.
so small that we bought a skinnier, smaller tree
Oh,
just
cool.
to be able to put it up.
Oh, that's nice. So it's coming.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Well, we had it last year,
Tis
so
the
it's
season.
fine.
Okay. Well, we had one, but we were borrowing it, and our friends were like, "Hey, we're gonna take that tree back." And we're like, "Well, guess we need to get a new tree." So
What part
We'll
of
see.
borrowing means you get to take it back? What
probably the whole catch.
Oh my gosh!
I
some
know,
people-
ridiculous. Anyways, well, dude, lots going on. A lot has gone on. I've got stuff
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah, you do.
You got stuff that you just came off of, dude.
Yeah.
You were on the road. You were on television. Talk to me about it.
Gosh. Okay. The quick version. We did a 4-week run. 3 of those weeks was with a great band called Deer Tick. They were super, super cool, and one of the best live shows I've ever seen. Like, just
Nice.
big rock, just great. Just great. And very nice people. I don't know, it might be one of the best like support experiences we've ever had. It's just, they were just so cool, and night after night they were so nice and accommodating, and some of the venues we played didn't have the best green rooms, or they're really historical halls, and so typically the headliner would get the green room, and or you feel weird about going, and they were like, nope, we're sharing the green room, come in, come hang out, come do the
That's cool, man.
they were so cool, and by the end of it we were all just like best buds practically. So
Incredible.
super cool. We did a headline run up to Seattle, so we just played like some dive bars and stuff, and that was cool. Had a cool turnout for a lot of them, or really for all of them, like a couple sellouts, and so it was cool to kind of see the fruits of what Abby's been doing and what we've been working on and towards, and and then after that, meeting up with the Deer Tick crowd, like we played Talia Hall, Chicago, and like House of Blues, Boston, which is a huge room. New York at the Warsaw. Seattle was that the Crocodile, and Portland was the Aladdin Theater, or maybe I had them switched. Like just all these really cool venues. We played twice in Denver, one at Bluebird Theater, and one at Globe Hall, which was awesome.
Very cool.
So, yeah, it really couldn't have been better. And then kind of midway through, we heard that we were given a CBS Saturday morning spot. So we jetted to New York a little early, and we stayed in Times Square, which was kind of crazy. And CBS
was it
is
the loudest
right.
sleep of your life? Just
Yeah,
honking and
yeah,
lights
yeah.
all night.
It was when you get to those like fancier hotels, where you're like, oh, this is so cool. The rooms get way classier, but way smaller, which is kind of funny too.
That's interesting.
Anyway, so we went over to CBS, and that was fun. They, you kind of walk in, you go to a green room, they give you a little bit of food, but then they get you right out real quick to, set up gear and go to hair and makeup, which they just like put some stuff on me to make me less shiny. We all just had a little bit of powder going.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Give me a little.
Maybe that's what's next for Based. Right before we go on camera, we
just-
threw just a little pa. Yeah, but it was good. You
Dude.
know what I was surprised about was they mixed it in a way that actually you could hear the bass on TV speakers.
I can confirm this. I was really surprised.
I was pretty shocked.
And not to derail, I promise we'll get back. I had some buddies play the Today Show.
Cool.
Same thing, where I was like, man, that actually sounds really good. Like,
Yeah,
it was very audible. So I watched yours after. I didn't watch it live, but I guess you didn't play it live if we're letting back the curtain.
No,
And
yeah,
then-
we recorded on Wednesday and it aired Saturday.
Totally. So I watched it after, day after, at the gym on my iPhone and AirPods, and I was like, man, that's like,
Kind of smacking, yeah.
and it was like, that was Facebook's little squeeze 'em tight
Yeah.
mix that they got going on.
Yeah, they did a great job, and you never know with, not to be derogatory, like broadcast people that are used to lav mics and shotgun mics.
Yeah.
And, you never know
They are pros.
if they're going to mix you like a news anchor or if they're going to mix you like a music act.
yeah,
They did a great job.
especially bass in the modern age, because I feel like you've still got people operating off of TV speakers.
Yep.
But then you've got a very large and continually growing group of people that has at least a sound bar,
Yep.
if not more. Like my TV has like a little, Samsung sound bar right below it, and then I've got like an actual sub.
Mhm.
So like, I mean, it's like things are better than they were. It's not like you're watching it on some really bad built-ins, but I do feel like the
But even
built-ins
then-
in TVs are still, they're not good, and they're not
No.
making them better, and they're shooting it down. Like it's not a good situation, or backwards, even worse. But I still feel like it's.
It
I mean,
was
they're
so
really,
good.
they've
It
got
was
it all
very
in mind.
forgiving. Yeah.
They've got it all in mind, is what I'm saying. They know that there is a
Mhm.
wide variety of listening experiences that
Yep.
that will receive.
And it was pretty tailored to like that bad TV speaker
Mhm.
thing because we watched the first time we saw it was when it aired, and we listened to it on crappy hotel TV speakers
Mm.
and was like, wow,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
How cool to be
So-
surprised. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I really didn't know how it was going to go. And to make it, worse, not actually worse, but whatever. Like a lot of these things you'd want to roll up and have in ears and, have the most separation possible. And we just don't do that yet as a
Mhm.
band. So we were amps, full volume, and wedges. Like it was loud stage.
You brought your own amp in?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that.
It was just right behind me.
You brought the SVT?
No, I bought the Quilter.
Okay.
The Quilter into an Ampeg 212 AV. They didn't mic the cab or anything like that. I just went straight off the Noble like I always do. But
the Noble.
yeah, I only want mics on the cabs if I've got an SVT or
True.
like a quality, usually 2 amp,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
because I want that flavor.
Absolutely. Oh, the fever
Get that flavor. And it also shows like, kind of digesting this mix situation that just, if you want to be heard, bass is all about the mids. It is.
A wise man that we both know once told me that a while ago, and he was right.
Yeah, it's all
It's
mids.
all about the mids, man.
Yeah, so just, getting a little bit of mud out, like 450-ish, 500-ish, is not a bad thing if you want that flavor, but like do not cut very much at all. On the capo, I'm last weekend,
New
I
preamp that we both got
yeah,
for those watching at home.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that in a sec.
Oh, we will.
We
We got to talk about all the gear I bought. Anyways, we'll
Yeah.
come and all you. It's just Black Friday. We'll get to it. Go on.
I cut 500-ish, like just barely, and boosted bass just a little bit, and boosted highs just a little bit, but then used the low pass filter.
Okay.
So it then cut a little bit of the super highs.
No,
But-
cool.
Part of that is because, I'm adding saturation over and over again in that preamp, and saturation a lot of times pushes mids. And, well, I guess it just depends. My Grizzly bass, Creation Audio Grizzly bass, that's probably my favorite overdrive right now.
Mm-hmm.
That one, the overdrive and the distortion circuit pushes mids. So they compensate by giving you
Yeah.
a mid cut knob that I like barely use. But the opposite of that, like I finally tracked down a Team Awesome fuzz machine that I've been looking for a long time that I love. And that's got a mid boost switch because it sounds like when I'm adding this kind of fuzz that I'm losing mid, high end, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
because it's so good too at retaining bass. and blending in your clean signal, and then it even has a phase switch that if the lows of your bass is like phase canceling and getting thin, you hit the phase switch and your lows come back.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty genius
I like that.
when you're clean blending in versus an effect.
You'll have to
I
show me
think,
that.
yeah, more pedals need phase switches if they
very
have
cool.
clean blends. To me, anyway. So all that to say, like with the capo or the capo, I think it's capo though. Cutting just a tiny bit of the more muddy frequencies. Because my bass, I play passive basses usually. There's exceptions, like Music Man that we got to talk about, where that sound is active and it's so cool. But all of my basses are passive, and so you kind of get, if you're comparing it to an active bass, you get a little bit less low lows and high highs. It's kind of like it's literally like using a dynamic mic versus a condenser mic. It's detailed. So the passive basses, to me, they've got plenty of mids. So you don't want to mess with it, or you just barely want to get a little bit of mud out, and then you can get away with bringing some bass and maybe a little bit of treble in my opinion.
I mean, the P bass is founded on that. I mean,
Yes.
that's what sparkles is. Like, you have that low mid, just gut in the P bass, which is just classic.
Yeah, and whether or not front of house takes out some low lows after they get my sound,
such a different question.
right? Like they're welcome to do whatever they want, but to make it work, especially you need to trust your front of house guy, or hopefully you can, or girl. But I am hoping that my rig, and that if I'm just doing in-ears, I want to feel when I go to my fifth string, again, with it being a passive instrument, it's a little weird to have a fifth string on a passive bass. I like it. I want to hear the low end push harder a little bit, because you're getting so much low end from that string, but it's audibly quieter because it takes more energy for the low end to come through. So I want to do something on my pre, so that when I go to that low on like a last chorus or something, that everything just like it's just huge and it's impactful.
Cool.
And
that's cool.
It's like another trick that I've saved, instead of going to the low lows and hoping the front of house guy will push me a little bit to compensate. So whether or not they do something there, it's just that, some people like a thinner in-ear tone that's really articulate and really pumps out or whatever. But I kind of like it to push low end, and they can do what they want at front of house, even if they'd like it slightly more articulate.
Yeah. Anymore, it's funny because I've actually been thinking about the dead opposite, where I'm like, how can I actually thin this out sometimes in like a verse or something, where I'm like, I don't need to be kicking, but then when it comes back, so you're looking for that, like, I'm always here and I go up, but I'm looking for that, how can I reduce it every once in a while? So it's funny, we need to join forces, and then we've just got a monster tone range.
Yeah. Well, I will say, for the first time, I've been starting to use boosts, and part of that, you got to be really careful.
Right,
I was using the JHS Prestige boost, which is really cool, but it's more of a tone box than a boost.
A lot of boosts get into this drivey territory.
Right. It adds a little, honestly, it's one of those like kind of magic sounds better pedals. Like I would almost put that on a board and leave it on forever. What it does to your tone is really cool.
I might need to get one of those. I've got a little.
Borrow mine because it's not on my next board.
Well, no, I've got a little Spark. It's the TC Electronic one. It's just a mini. It's a one knob, and it really tries not to add any flavor, which for what I was using it for was great. We were using it for I was playing with a band, and it was always self mixed. It was like this cover band we would do. It wasn't quite the 4-hour thing like we do like events and weddings and whatnot, but it was like we're still self mixing, so you have to have that ability when you're taking a solo. And this was I was playing guitar, so it's a little different, but I'm taking the solo, and you just got to be able to throw yourself up that much extra to be heard. So it's very utilitarian, but it's kind of funny because coming from the church world, that's out of your hands completely. Like they're like mad if your signal starts going up.
Do not.
If your signal's going up, they're like, whoa. We are not planning for this. It's not okay. So different schools of thought.
Yeah. Great conversation too, because when you show up at like a legit venue or I don't know, any dive bar, whatever. If you show up somewhere, their mindset is so different than a church or a band with a real front of house guy, with a traveling front of house guy who's making significant mix moves to help each song and adding vocal delays and adding distorted bass channels here, but not in this. Someone who's doing all the bag of tricks, which is so cool, and it's where you want to be eventually. But you show up at these venues, these dive bars, or places that are a little bit more broadcast minded, and their mindset is, I'm going to get a good mix of everything. Everything sounds great, and then I'm not going to touch the faders at all during the show.
Yeah, in fact, they might be thinking about, how can I leave this to go get a Miller High Life?
Right. They're just gonna leave the faders.
They're gonna physically walk out of the booth sometimes.
Yeah.
Like physically leave.
It's the difference between like very active mixing and, because when I'm doing front of house, and I know the music, I am actively mixing. Like if I might start the beginning of a song a little lower intentionally, that by the end it's bigger. And when the band is building at a moment, I am literally pushing the volume up as well. So that's the kind of care and quality of a mix you'll get when you have a real caring front of house guy who's traveling with you. That's where you want to be. Mm-hmm. But until then, there's a little bit of your own managing of your dynamics that you're just going to have to do when you're on the road until you have someone that cares. And that's actually a good thing, because all these people that don't know your show and don't really know your songs, they're going to mess it up because it's really their first shot at it.
They're going to miss the guitar player's solo. They're going to miss the bass verse. Right. They're going to miss the Big Tom intro. They're going to miss those things. And that's fine and part of the deal.
Right.
It really is.
It's just part of it. Here's a plug. Colony House.
Oh my gosh.
Their front of house guy.
Oh my gosh.
Has the best TikTok.
He has the best mix that I've heard in a long time.
Their mixes are crazy.
Park, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Dude, y'all got a golden boy, and I know you know it, but he is a genius.
He's insane.
And even crazier is he's putting it online for you to learn.
Yeah. So if you want to see, like,
his name's Michael something.
Okay, sweet.
It
just TikTok served it up to me, and then I was
Michael
like, I'm
Goodwin.
hooked.
You know what? Hold on, Nick. I'm future me. Cut this with his name.
We have discovered the name.
All right, it's Michael Keith Lewis on TikTok. You guys have to follow this guy. It's at Michael Keith Lewis, and he is so smart, dude. Just masterclass online. Go check this guy out.
And kind of like, where it's good as a bass player for you to have like maybe a functional knowledge of drums, a functional knowledge of, where other instruments like to fit in, or like where you don't want your piano player to always feel like they can go super low and get in your territory. Having a functional knowledge of front of house mixes is huge for you knowing what you can play, what you can get away with, how dense the mix is, how you're fitting in it.
Well, and that's the thing, is sometimes you have to approach that front of house with like, hey, I would really love to try this. Like, hey, so for instance, like the preamp that we just bought, this CAPO, whatever, it's got all of these outs, right?
Yeah,
you can send it out before it touches anything. You can send it out XLR. You can send it out completely untouched, I think also through a 1/4 inch.
Yeah,
as
there's
well.
So much.
It's awesome. And it's like, you can use this and say, hey, I want to send this one to a different DI. I want to send this one to like a board DI, like a Rupert Neve or a radial, or, whatever. And I want to send this one to my actual board and make it very, very dirty. And I want to send this one to the amp and do this like midsy thing and then give 3 cents or whatever, whatever that is. It's like, if you know what you're capable of on your board, and you can go to the front of house and say, here's my idea. What can we do to get there? Right.
Yep. And there, that you really got to check your ego too. Like, giving a front of house person a completely clean line before all of your effects and the stuff you think make you have to have a lot of trust in that person.
Yeah.
And you just got to do it if they really want it. If you're in a real like good professional situation, a lot of it too is just like you said, just coming up to I've found people are way more receptive if you come up to them and say like, hey, I want to try some stuff. Let's see. How do you think I could get better with tone? How do I make your life better? And then you both together find this distortion pedal, find this different preamp, find this whatever.
Dude.
And now they're excited. And that was kind of my biggest thing with the Noble. The Noble is awesome. It's not super flexible. It has EQ and stuff. And
it's got 3 knobs. It's super flexible.
It does its thing, and that's it. And that is great because I consider that sound foundational in my tone. But honestly, the biggest thing about the Noble that I thought was good for me is I would show up in Nashville at Basement East or the regular basement or all these venues across the country, and the front of house guy would go, oh my gosh, you have a Noble. Those things sound so great.
Is it like legitimacy?
Yeah, and it's like now I know that person is caring about my bass tone. They think I know what I'm doing. Because honestly, every pedal or pedal board I would show up with before the Noble, the guys would roll their eyes. It's another thing to deal with. It's a noisy signal chain. It's a whatever. But then I bring the Noble and they go, oh my gosh, you have a Noble. All these guys are using it. And that, that's the new Nashville cool thing. Or that's the new whatever. Yeah. And the psychology of that is worth, to me, the extent you have to go to get a Noble.
It could be. I know what you're saying.
So there's that. But ultimately the goal is to have a real capable front of house guy, and to kind of pull back the curtain on what I've got coming next and what, we'll probably do some videos on. I'm rebuilding my pedal board, kind of around the capo, the Jad Freer capo. I love that thing so much.
We do.
But I don't want to give up my Noble. And I know that in the future, there will come a day that I'm going to want more direct clean outs before I'm adding distortion and adding other things. So I'm actually rearranging my pedal board so that it goes tuner into the Noble. And then I will have a very unaffected out right there. That's already going through the Noble, so I love that tone, and I am confident in that completely clean tone, and I'm happy for any front of house guy to have it. This also gives me the ability to show up at a studio session and them not get freaked out by having a bunch of pedals. Yeah. Be like, hey, we're not going to use all that stuff. That's fine. Here you go. Here's a clean out. It's just tuner to Noble. And then I will take an amp out to my B15. But so I'm going to go tuner, Noble, and then I have a pedal switcher that I have 6 other pedals on.
You're pulling the whole curtain back now.
I'm trying, yeah. And so that switcher takes all the cabling out of the signal chain if those pedals are not being used. So, and after the switcher, it goes into the Union Lab compressor, which is barely on, just to kind of catch something if it's going crazy. And then that's into the capo where I'm doing a little bit of EQ and I'm doing a bunch of saturation. So,
but that will be revealed.
That will be revealed.
That will be revealed.
That'll be a great
I do want to go back real quick.
Yeah.
In a practical sense, I know a lot of you guys are, you're not even gigging, and then a lot of you guys are gigging at a huge capacity more than we are. That's great. I think knowing what you want to do and the approach to the front of house is such a big concept as a bass player.
Yeah.
That here's my practical application. If you're playing in a band that's doing bar stuff or whatever, knowing your approach to that, even in the words that you use, is so monumental in the way that you sound, because there's one person that's translating you to the rest of the room, right? Yep. So I think that's huge. And in a very, very practical sense, a lot of people are playing through, good rigs that they're bringing, maybe the X32 and a rack thing. A lot of people that are playing out are bringing those, right? And if you are playing with a front of house person, it could be worth it to say, hey, let me try to give you 2 lines, because it's not much extra work, and it would give this huge opportunity, if the room is boomier, to take more of like a driven, grittier mids. I'm not saying like a slammed Lemmy thing, right?
Right.
But like something that's a little more flavor and a little more like mojo to it could be genuinely better for the room, right?
Yep.
If you're in a boomy hall, or one of those big weird rooms that hotels have with the curtains that fold.
Right.
Like, if you're in that room, you could want more of that drive. And on the complete opposite, if you're in a dead room, which I feel like is super rare in the modern age, they might want that, very, very clean, regular, what you would call your like usual bass tone. It's worth looking into the gear that you have and thinking, even if it's like even if you're playing like a Helix or something, like where could I put in this signal chain just a send that would be clean, and send it to a DI, or where could I loop in a drive pedal, like how at what point. The other thing you can do is go straight into a DI, and the DI would split it. And that way, even if you do have a preamp that you're using, like we know a lot of you guys are using the Origin SVT thing, or if you're using a Sans amp, even I think that has a clean out. At least it's at least got 2 outs. I know it's got an XLR and a.
Does it have a clean?
It's got an XLR and a quarter inch at least.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for ways to spice it up, if all you have to do is buy a DI and put that somewhere.
Yep.
Just worth looking into. That's my 2 cents. That's my soapbox. Know your options. Know how to talk to the front of house person, and try something fun this winter while we're all playing fun gigs. Okay, try something new. That's our push.
Yeah. If you got room for it, one of my favorites that are like semi-affordable. Obviously, it's not like noble expensive, but the Rupert Neve RNDI.
Dude, it's on my list, man. It's on my list. I need to get one.
So good. And the tone it imparts, it's got a flavor, but it's a clean flavor. It's really cool.
It's great. And again, back to your point earlier of like, if you show up somewhere, like I would take that on a fly gig, because they're so durable. There's no knobs to break,
and they're not huge.
No, I would throw that in a bag on a fly gig, and if you pop out, the legitimacy you win with front of house by throwing down
house guys love
throwing down a Rupert Neve DI. You're just like, it's a head turner of a piece of gear. Not that's what not that your playing shouldn't speak for itself, yada yada. But before you've even played a note on that bass, if you're like, hey, I've got this DI, do you care if we throw it in? They'll be like, yeah, let's throw that in.
One. Yeah,
that's cool.
It's psychology.
So there you go. There's our little idea, a little nugget.
Talked to Dave Hartley. He had taken the Noble off of his board at front of house requests to put in a Rupert Neve DI, which the Rupert Neves are $350 or $400. I know that's a lot of money for a lot of people,
but that's a lifelong DI that you can use for anything.
So no tubes in it, which means substantial longevity
and immediacy of the tone. Like, I mean, it's just that's a lifelong piece of gear. It's like buying a pair of leather boots. It's like this is the long play here.
Yeah, it's just you buy that and you don't sell it. Even if you want to sell it, don't sell it. You're gonna need it. Or like me, I'm bringing a synth bass too now. The freaking best DI for a Moog, that Rupert Neve DI. To me, I mean, or people say like the Ready or something, and that's maybe true too. But
how are you going to bring a Ready with you and feel good about it?
The form factor of a Ready makes it very difficult to travel with in this day and age, unless you've got hella budget or a freight, or your stuff's in road cases.
Even then, I'm like, I don't.
But it's not fly dateable. Really?
I'm pretty sure that piece of gear is openly like, this isn't really meant to travel. I'm pretty sure that is like...
it's a studio. A-Design's is studio stuff.
Yeah.
Super clean, but highly flavor. I really want to get the Pacifica. Talking about preamps, man. The Pacifica preamp that A-Design's made. Mm-hmm. If you're going direct into a preamp, I think that's my favorite one. I could be wrong about that. I think it has a little bit of Neve inspiration in it, but it's like got a clean thing to it. All the Tony Anderson stuff I did was into a Pacifica, an A-Design's Pacifica. That's probably my next real pre-purchase. Mm-hmm. So good. Sorry.
Dude, well, let's talk about it. It's Black Friday. We'll, go through our little recent pickups, dude, and I'll hit first because mine was smaller. So we both ended up buying this Jad Freer joint, and it is fantastic. So cool.
Amazing.
I love having it. I'm really excited. Dude, we played this last weekend, and I was playing guitar, he's playing bass. He just threw the preamp down alone.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Did you bring a tuner?
I brought a clip-on tuner.
Dude, I mean, it sounded...
I went back to Stone
words
Age.
out of his mouth was... This is the best I've sounded in a long time. This is the most happy I've been with my time.
This is the best I've ever sounded in my in-ears.
Dude, I was like, man. And that was on a little bit of tweaking. So we both picked that up, right? I haven't got it wedged on the board yet. I got to put some dual lock on the bottom. But when I do, and it might go with me this week. We'll get into some future when we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
But it might go with me this weekend on a little gig that I'm playing. But, man... Very cool pickup.
Cool.
Excited nonetheless. Comes in a little satin bag. Not a satin. What's that? Velvet.
Like,
a velvet bag.
It was quality.
DHL dropped it off. It was an interesting experience getting it shipped from Italy.
Yep.
So very
That's
cool.
why I think it's capo. Doesn't capo sound way more Italian?
Man, I'm not even gonna act like I know.
Capo sounds like a dumb American.
It sounds like
Capo.
a Western. Yeah.
I got my capo.
Regardless, we'll get flamed either way, and comments are good in this day and age. So, no, I'm just kidding. You guys are welcome to flame us anytime, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, we could be completely wrong.
No,
I could be but I'm pretty sure I'm not.
Who knows?
The capo.
Doesn't even matter. So, got that. We both got that. But, dude, I've been a while looking for this music, man.
Oh, yeah.
I've been looking
forgot about this.
I've been looking for the music, man.
You've been scheming.
Dude, people were like, what'd you get this Black Friday? And I was like, it had nothing to do with Black Friday, but I did get it.
Yes.
Dude, I found this guy, super nice guy in Nashville. He was like, hey, man, I'm driving up north. I'm coming around your area. I was like, So I've been looking, man. I'm going to tell you. So when you think of music, man, you think of the 4-string, you think of the one pickup.
The Stingray.
The Stingray. And I want that, and I will get that. But what I ended up getting was a 5-string HH Special.
Yep.
It is the newer refresh with the 5-bolt on the back.
Which is super cool.
Dude, this refresh is phenomenal. I feel like so rarely does a company refresh, and I was like, they kind of got it right.
Yeah.
It's super lightweight. It's this, so the color's called Chopper Blue, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a darker sky blue. Right,
It's
like a
feels
robin's
very
egg.
vintagey. Like it's
Carson
it's
knows.
Very cool.
When I buy instruments, I want them like candy paint. Like I don't do the bursts ever. Like it's not that I don't like them. It's just not the way I usually purchase. I like the white. I like the like they've got that Pueblo pink.
Yeah,
that was what I was looking at most. But when a deal comes up on Facebook Marketplace, you got to take it. So this guy, he was working with me, and I was like, all right. I met him. Dude gave me the case. This thing doesn't have a nick on it. I don't think it was really ever taken out much. He took good care of it. My buddy, our buddy Gideon's, he's got it right now, set it up. Dude.
Yeah, Gideon did a video with us.
Yes, Gideon's awesome. If you need work done, hit us up. We'll get you connected with Gideon.
Yeah.
He's the only one that pretty much does any work for me anymore. So he's the man. Dude, so happy about this thing. It's funny because I got it. I texted, I called him like literally within 2 minutes of pulling away from that parking lot. I was like, all right, dude, I need you to put this thing factory spec. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get her rolling. And hopefully I get it this week, and I might take it with me this weekend. But dude, so excited about this music, man.
It's solid.
But what's the worst part is like, well, now I need the 4-string one pickup. And now I need the passive version, and now I need the short scale version too if I'm going to get the passive version. So it's just this, dude, the Music Man bug.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, well, I need the guitars too. I want the Albert Lee, and then I need to get one of those Music Mans where it has like the weird little single like coil pickup thing they got going on.
Yeah.
So it's such a slippery slope, dude.
They were making a passive PJ bass for a minute that I thought was really cool. They discontinued it, so maybe it didn't sell well, but I thought it was super cool. I would play one of those in an instant. Their necks are just so good.
Dude, this roasted maple thing they're doing right now, oh my gosh. It is just, it's like a treat playing on it.
Are they easily the best production bass?
Best, like, stamped on a line bass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I haven't played like the Warwick Sadowski thing, but I think they're the Ernie Balls, they're the best.
Everyone I pick up is consistently good, and that's in That's on the used rack in a Guitar Center. That's at a major retailer. We've got a retailer in town that has tons of Music Mans. I sat there for a couple hours and played them. Dude, consistent and consistently good. No qualms there, dude. So all in all, very excited. I finally, I'm at the rate where I'm like getting like a new bass a year, pretty much, and that was my
that's awesome.
That was my year-end purchase. My come on, let's do it. So excited about that, and then who knows, maybe I'll just offload another one and find a Music Man.
Yeah,
4-string.
The HH. I think that means humbucker, right?
Yes, it's 2 humbuckers.
2 humbuckers.
Sorry, I should have specified. They call it the HH, the special HH5, and some order of that. Those are the details.
The one thing I do find their names, their model names, very hard to keep straight. Because I don't know what Sterling is, but I think Sterling is actually a body shape. But then they also have made Sterling to be like a sub brand.
Yeah, it's like almost like a Squire classic vibe.
Yeah,
thing.
but then they also made the Ernie Ball sub.
Yeah,
which is different too.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep up. But
I don't know.
The Sterling is also a high end body shape.
It is,
and I think maybe Sterling is the current guy that's running the company.
It was like the
Sterling.
I've read about this. It was like the guy that was basically testing all of their bases early on. Cool. Yeah, it was like the nephew or something.
We're way out of pocket here. This is like 90% speculation.
No. I just read it, but I totally forgot it. Yeah. But we'll look at
something like that. Ernie Ball stuff is just always so.
It's
cool.
Fantastic, and they've not even paid us $1. We just love it. So, awesome. Anyways. That's what I got this Black Friday. Yeah. I know that you're neck deep in plug-in purchases. We won't hit it long, but just list it off. What'd you got?
The Universal Audio stuff. I love Universal Audio, and they're finally really coming down on plug-in prices because they're not forcing you to use an Apollo and run it on the Apollo. Mm-hmm. So I noticed that some of my Apollo plugins I actually didn't own native, like being able to use on my other computer when I'm traveling.
What a dicey world we're in.
Yeah, they've done it the most respectfully I've seen a company transition from one workflow to the other. I mean,
you didn't like the way Waves did it?
I was going to say that, they didn't Waves it, which is like pretty massive. I mean,
a public slap in the face.
That blew up so bad, and
horrible.
it's a testament to Universal Audio that they have been able to come into the plug-in market without people getting angry about what they previously purchased.
I actually think they've actually changed their full client base very, very well, where they introduce these like more budget-friendly pieces.
Yeah, the Volts.
That's what I'm on, I'm on one of these Volts, and it's been fantastic. So I'm like, I think as a company, they're moving, it's like you said, with the consumer in mind.
Yep.
I mean, it's still a business. They got to do what they got to do, but they're really watching their clients and making sure that they're still revered as like a high-end brand.
Yeah.
Right.
And, yes. Yeah. And the gosh, what am I? Crap. I forgot what I was going to say.
Who cares?
Whatever.
What else you get besides plugins?
Well, anyway, I got like a ton of the plugins native, bought a big pack. Their other thing is like Waves will do a fake $30 sale like all the time. All their plugins are $30, whatever. And that's cool and all. And, some of it's just like reskinned old plugins and some of it's just slightly tweaked stuff. And there's certainly places for all of that. When getting back to the front of house conversation, there's a realization you have to have when you realize Waves owns the front of house Waves
Live
rack,
plug-in.
like guys showing up industry standard stuff. They can pull up with these consoles that are maybe not as good, but they'll have like a Waves rack situation that now they're pulling up the 1176 compressor.
They got that RVox.
Or the LA2 or RVox or whatever. So there is value in knowing some of the staple Waves plugins. But Universal Audio plugins are like $200, $250,
they get a little
$350
pricey.
Sometimes for a plug-in. And you're like, but a lot of them are worth it, man. A lot of them are really, really like that good.
Nice.
And now they have like a $15 subscription you could do, which I try to avoid subscriptions as much as I can. And I don't need that many plugins. You wake up when you're like, I don't use half of these. I don't know how to use half of these. And if I'm actually being paid, I'm wasting a client's time looking for these.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
No, I totally agree. What I'll say real quick is in the age of the modern Black Friday, I feel like nobody in hard goods is actually running deals like Target. They're like 5% off. Dude, they used to like give away TVs at the door.
Yeah.
So they're not doing that. Plugins, since it's in thin air, they're able.
Yeah.
They're like, we made our money off of it. They're like, charge them $20 for it.
Yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. So
I pretty much only buy plugins on holidays.
it's such a good pro move. If you're buying, like that gold package from Waves or the diamond or the plat or whatever, if you're looking to jump in, Black Friday is a really good time to do that with the plugins.
A lot of people will sell their HX presets on Black Friday for way cheaper.
Yeah, I got some IRs actually. I forgot to talk about that. I bought some third-party IRs for my stomp that are phenomenal.
Yeah, so if you have a bass player that sells presets and they're maybe a little up there, like you look
David
at
Curran.
it and yeah, I think his are what? Are they $100?
I don't know, but if you're looking
$75?
for HX presets, he's a great guy to look for.
He's great.
Yeah, we can maybe link it below or something. But David Curran,
Ian Martin Allison, is that how you say his name? The other Scott's Bass Lessons guy. I love that guy. Super cool. It's a great personality. I think he sells a lot of them too, and I'm confident that they were on sale for Black Friday. So just watch again for like Black Friday, Christmas.
They might run Christmas. Yeah.
All these virtual products. Just buy them on holidays.
Yeah, just buy them on holidays.
It doesn't cost them. Like they're happy to have the bump.
Yeah. So anything else besides plugins? Did you get any pedals?
I bought Sonar Works, which like tunes my studio.
What else?
Speakers. So on tour, I picked up a Bass 6.
Oh, cool. I want one so bad.
Which Philip Conrad did a video on them. Like I had it in my hand. I looked up and I was like, oh, he just uploaded a video about these. But it's the Eastwood TB64. It's the Taisco, the old Japanese Bass 6 recreation.
Very cool.
Fender.
Super fun. Very cool.
It's not a real Bass 6. It is a bass. Nobody has a word for it. I guess it's a 6-string bass guitar that's tuned like a guitar.
It's an octave down
that's
guitar.
The bass. Yeah, that's the best way to say it.
And the scale's a little shorter. It feels good. It feels good.
What is it? 30?
I don't know.
Something like that. It's pretty small, but it feels like a guitar, but it plays in the same range. Because we in Abby's live sets, we have at least one song that calls for a bass 6, and me and our guitar player Zach were playing the exact same line, and we were only in a 4-piece configuration right now while we were touring, and so we really needed to fill other space. So I just by chance I was like, hey, let me take the bass 6, run it through my bass rig, and compensate for volume and bass a little bit, and it sounded actually really great.
That's cool, man. That's fun. That unlocks just so many new like creative ideas. It's like when you pick up a 12 strings or like something open tuned. It's just like you're in a new world.
Yep. I'm very thankful to have it. I picked it up in New York for $300.
Hey.
Actually, $400. But that was still less than half.
No, that's very cool. That's very cool.
So
nice.
Happy to have it.
Good pickup, man. You got a really successful Black Friday season.
Well, yeah, it's been more like month and a half, but
forever. It's been a while for this man.
Yeah, it's a problem.
He's a gear fiend.
I'm a fiend. I'm just building a business over here.
Building a business, dude.
Yeah, so that's my deal. So
love it.
How about we talk about what you've got going on,
dude? Yeah, as we wrap up here, I'll tell you what what I'm on. So, dude, I'm getting the chance checking off a bucket list. I'm going to the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah,
this Friday. The artist I play for, Walker Montgomery, he's making his debut, and he was kind enough to give me one of the spots. So they don't give you like you can't just bring your full band to the Opry most times. They're like you bring 2 musicians. So we're bringing a guitar and a bass, and I'm the bass, luckily. So yeah, it's just crazy. We're doing 2 songs, and I'm using wedges. They're like, hey,
nice.
It's interesting. Like I've got a lot of buddies that have done the Opry now, and I'll kind of hit them up like, dude, what do I need to know? And one of the first things they said, and like I've heard multiple people say this actually, they say, A, you can't bring tracks, which I was like, I totally expected that. They're like, don't do it. Like I'm sure they'd make it work, but they're like, don't, come on. Like it's the Grand Ole Opry. Like this is real country music we're talking about. So show up and play the music. You got a full band. Like it'll be all right. You don't need your hi-hat drum tracks and stuff. So, which we don't play with really. It's all the stuff that Walker's playing now is steel, fiddle, guitar. So. Nice. Pretty cool. So, going into that, just kind of doing things different. Another thing that people were like, hey, they're going to offer you wedges or in-ears. Mm-hmm. Take the wedge. Enjoy the moment. So I'm using a wedge this weekend. It'll be great.
Cool.
It'll be awesome. They say it's always a really solid mix. We'll get a little sound check.
Yeah.
I've been told that the first time you do get a sound check on the actual stage, that's your first time out, you'll get to like actually go out, check it out, see how it goes. I'm debating on what gear I'm bringing. They've got a tone hammer that lives there and a little cab below it.
Amp.
Yeah. They've got a little, tone hammer and a cab that lives there. I will use that. I just need to decide. I mean, to make it easy, it's 2 songs. I might just bring a cable and tune in the back. Yeah. I'm walking out with the bass. Why not? Right. I mean, I can bring it, but I'm like, dude, it's the Grand Ole Opry. You're playing 2 songs. Keep it easy. Enjoy the moment. Like I don't need to be worried about setting up and picking it up and bringing it off. But dude, I'm so excited.
That'll be awesome.
It's a bucket list for sure, and I'm just so grateful to do it. So it'll be fun this week, man. Going down Thursday.
Is it live?
Broadcast
live?
They do a live stream. I don't think it's on TV, but it could be. I don't know.
Later it's on like PBS situation
or Circle or something. It's always on something.
Or like NPR stuff or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it comes in a lot of ways, but I think it's streaming Friday, so if you want to...
They have a good YouTube channel too.
Watch me. I'll probably look like a deer in headlights, but it'll be great. It'll be great.
Check our boy out.
Man, I'm excited. I'm going to I'm taking just my P-bass with flats. That's it. I'll bring it back up just in case I get in a car wreck and it snaps in half on the way down. But other than that, I mean, that's what I'm doing.
That'll be awesome.
I'm going. Thanks, man. Yeah. I'm going bare bones, and it'll be good. So it's cool.
These bare bones.
Cool to check off a little bucket list by the end of the year. It kind of popped up on us. So the Opry stuff is really. It doesn't seem like people get much of a heads up, and when you're in, that's actually part of the deal. Is that Opry members are like they'll call you super last minute and be like, "Hey, come on, throw down.
You want to come?"
So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It'll be really fun, and then I'll hang out. And then the rest of the year, I'm just really hanging around town. I've got some in-town gigs. I'm playing with some buddies, filling in for them on a different road gig. A girl out of Nashville. I'll do that at the end of the year, and we'll see, man.
Yeah.
I'm just excited. So the music, man. I'll see if that ends up on the Walker gig with me.
Yeah,
I probably will. I could see myself using it as a main, but for now I'm sticking with the P-bass. So
yeah,
I got a lot of gear switch up to do in the off season. It's kind of nice that I'm getting it now, so I can rearrange it and decide how I need it. So
yeah.
What about you? What's the end of your year look like? Are you kind of calm?
I'm focusing on producing right now. I got an album I'm going to finish mixing, and then I've got an EP I'm going to finish mixing, and then 2 EPs that I'm hitting pretty hard in December. Nice. I got 2 sessions at Mountain Art Center studio that I'm going to travel up there and play, and really just trying to take it easy. I'm still recovering from tour. I mean, it's hard, like just staying up that late and then waking up every day at 10 a.m. or something. Like I'm trying to get back to functional adult society. So that's really what I'm working on. But this has been a good little catch up. Let us know. Did you get anything from Black Friday? Do you get anything cool, or what's kind of on your list? Or here's a good one. What should we be aware of that's kind of coming up? Like I don't want to be the channel that just chases the Joneses all the time. Like one, we don't have the resources to do that unless they want to send it to us to check out.
Which we would take.
You at home, unless you're just a millionaire, you don't have the resources either. We're all in this together. So we want to find cool freaking stuff that works and that's gonna last and isn't cheap, and so let us know what you're on and what inspires you. And
absolutely, and if you made it this far in the podcast on YouTube or on any streaming platform, drop us a comment. We want to hear from you, and we appreciate the comments anyway. So if you would,
we read them, we respond to them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just hit us up on Instagram, our personals or the based channel account. Just say hey, introduce yourself. We'd love to see you, because we're both in national touring acts, so we'll probably be through your neck of the woods at some point. We'd love to say hey. Unless you're in like Germany, which I'm hoping to get to next year, but we're working on it. So if we got any German friends out here.
With that said, I did have one at the 930 Club in DC, a based listener came out.
Hey, shout out.
Which that was awesome. So
very cool.
You know who you are.
Thanks for showing us love.
That was fun. If we're ever coming your way, hit us up. Especially, and we would love to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's not like you're bothering us. We'd love to say hey. and meet people. So
Absolutely.
all right, see ya.
See you.